back to Fresh Living. I am sitting here with Dr. Barton. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to chat with me.
Happy to be here.
So talk to me about how you got into hair restoration. Where did it all begin?
My journey into hair restoration began with me as a patient, actually. I started losing my hair in my early to mid 20s, and medical school drastically expedited that process.
I was going to say, was it the stress?
Was it absolutely. Yes, a lot of stress. And I started looking into things that I could do to fight the process, and found out that hair transplant surgery has been around for a little while and maybe it works. So I started looking into it. After a lot of research, I found Dr. Babak Hayatabuti and Alviarmani and was able to have a surgery with them, and it changed my life. It was something that didn't just bring confidence back. As I was waiting for my results to come in, I was expecting to be a new man and to feel like a new person, but really what I found was I was just a better version of my old self. I was able to feel like myself again. And that was something that was in the back of my mind as I kept doing medical training, and after I finished, it's something that I had to get into. So I reached back out to the same doctor, Dr. Babak, and told him I want to do this. I want to provide this service for other people and change their lives like mine was changed. And that's what I did. And we hit it off. He remembered who I was, and we agreed to do this whole thing.
What a beautiful story. I love how you took what happened to you personally and decided to help others. Speaking of your patients, what does a typical day look like if they're getting hair restoration done?
Well, a typical day starts with a pre-op with me in my office. I call it a pre-op because it's the meeting right before surgery, but really it's a design session where we come up with the perfect hairline that we both love, something that frames their face well. After the pre-op part, then we go right into the surgery itself. And that's where it's important to understand what FUE actually is. It's follicular unit extraction, and each follicle is taken one at a time from the back and sides of someone's head and moved to an area where it's more needed, like the top of their head.
Okay, very detailed work, okay.
It is. It's a labor of love, but it's also very therapeutic for us. We quite love it. And that whole process, it's an all-day thing. And as we take the follicles from the back and sides of the head and move them around with the care and design, then it is something that can really change a person's life, and we keep that in mind as we're doing it. So it's fun for us to do.
Yeah, and that, I mean, literally, this is changing people's lives. You're not saying that lightly. How long is recovery? What does recovery look like?
There's really two ways to answer that question. There's a short term and a long term. We tell people to take about a week off of work because that's when you have a little bit of swelling, some scabs from the surgery. After about 7 or 8 days, you start looking like your normal self again. You can go back to work. But the longer recovery process is, several months. It takes, 3 or 4 months for your results to start to come in. 6 months, about half of it. 9 months, most of it. And at a year, almost all of it is in. So we have a patient care team that helps transition through that whole period of time to give you information about what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. But a week off of work, and within the next year, that's when you get your results.
All right, okay, easy enough. Talk to me about the artistic approach that you and the other surgeons take here at Alviarmani.
That's my favorite portion of this, is the art. Actually, my mom has been an art teacher for her whole life, so I've grown up learning about proportions and what Leonardo da Vinci did. Yeah, it's fun. Marcus Vitruvius, there's all sorts of design elements and art with this. The design is individualized for each person. Dense packing is an important element of this. The angles and direction of each follicle, temple angle closure, these are all things that you need to consider. Since nobody has the same face, that means nobody has the same hairline. And bringing in the facial framing can really bring a person's features to life. If they have strong eyes, then you can look at those eyes more instead of a forehead. And it's something that takes place every day.
Yeah. Literally sitting here hearing you talk, I can tell you are an artist and so good at what you do. Thank you for spending the time and talking to us today. And for those of you watching, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.